What's going on, peeps? We are on show number 8, and today we are going to be starting off our talk about something I found on one of the science websites that I watch and follow, whatever you want to call it. It's called IFL Science, or I fucking love science. Anyway, what's up?
IFL.
Hey, fool.
IFL. IFL. IFL.
Oh, IFL. I thought you said awful. Hold on, what? Have me confused. So anyway, we are going to start off the show with that, and then we're going to jump over to some other things. And then we got a couple of games that we thought you guys might find interesting. One on Kickstarter. Well, 2 on Kickstarter, 1 on Steam. But the second one on Kickstarter, if we got time, we will hit that one. If not, we will save that one for another day. So anyway, the first one is called the Floating City Project. And basically what they want to do is they want to deregulate the hub of scientific research, meaning they want to come out from underneath of all the laws and regulations put upon them by the different countries in which they work out of. So they want to build these floating cities and work from that. Now, the IFL Science channel, their first statement in there is, in hopes of rising above the laws and regulations of terrestrial nations, a group has bold plans to build a floating city in Tahiti, French Polynesia. It might sound a bit like the start of a sci-fi dystopia. In fact, it is the basic premise behind the video game BioShock. And we all know how BioShock ended, right? But the brains behind the project say their techno-libertarian community could become a paradise for technological entrepreneurship and scientific innovation. I think that, yes, this is a good idea to an extent, but there are still some things that, as a species, we are just not ready to jump into just yet. My personal opinion. Now, the company or the foundation or institute, whatever they want to call themselves right now, is called the Seasteading. And I'm going to post that here in chat. Right there. That's their website for those who want to check them out. The Seasteading Institute. And they were set up in 2008 by a software engineer who happens to be also a professional poker player and a political economic theorist, Patri Friedman, or Friedman, or whatever you want to call him. And his first funder, or person who started to fund him, was the PayPal founder, Peter Thiel. And if you look at their website, it will tell you how much people have donated. And the Thiel Foundation has donated over $1 million to this project. So I think there is some, what's the word I want to use here? Some actual things that could come from this, but what they're wanting to do and what's actually going to happen are probably going to end up being 2 different things. What's your say on this, Herder?
Kind of like you. In a way, it's a good idea. My concerns would be part of the laws and regulations that they have on scientific developments, experiments, whatnot. So part of my concern would be if they would try human testing when the law wouldn't normally allow it.
That is one theory of why I say they shouldn't do it. But the one thing that they want to do, and this is on their this is their mission statement, or part of what their mission statement is they want to establish a permanent and an autonomous ocean community to enable the experimentation and innovations with diverse social, political, and legal systems. Meaning they want to have their own little political system, their own little legal system, their own social system, but they're wanting to create all of this so that they can have what they call better access to do those things by not having those laws and regulations put into place, which then stems to many, many different sci-fi movies that we've seen over the years. Logan's Run, back in the 70s. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen it. They remade the movie with Ewan McGregor, where he's a clone of somebody who's just there for parts. I don't remember the name of that movie, but that's just some of the things I could see actually happening, coming from this, is people growing other people just to harvest them for parts so somebody could get those organs to keep living on once their organs start to fail.
That's negative side of it also, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for profit. It's basically a for-profit situation, even though they consider themselves a non-profit organization. It's on their donation page. It states that they're a non-profit. Now, they are stating that their vision for this place is going to be multiple reinforced concrete platforms, which would be about, they say here 50 meters by 50 meters, which is approximately 164 feet by 164 feet, each size of the platforms. And this will all be out at sea. None of this will be attached to anywhere land-based. This is all going to be floating cities. And these platforms they talk about will sustain 3-story buildings along with parks, offices, and apartments for people to live in. And the home will be at least, for the first one they're talking about, is 250 residents. And the settlement will be powered by renewable energy, talking about wave technology and wave energy, where the motion of the ocean, as they say, is going to create the energy to power this place, along with solar energy and wind mills, wind turbines, whatever you want to call them. And will all people who live there be chipped for easy tracking? I really don't hope they even consider that. They have not said anything about it. It's not anywhere on their website. It's nowhere on this article. I've read it nowhere that they're going to talk about chipping anybody.
I don't think they would tell anybody, even if they were planning on it. But once they get their own government and their own laws, then yeah, if you want to be there, then hey, you got to be chipped. Yeah.
Here it says the settlement will still need to follow international laws, but the Institute hope is to have minimal government regulations, meaning that scientific research and entrepreneurship will not be hindered, and they use quotations, by red tape. Meaning they could just go ahead with any kind of thing they want, and nothing will be done about it. Now, just as of this year, towards the beginning of the year, I believe, when I read it, it stated that they have already set up an agreement with the French Polynesian government. Meaning that the French Polynesian government will be the host nation to the very first city created. And the French Polynesian government will help them situate an appropriate legislative framework, is what it's stated here as being the host city. Well, the French Polynesian government has been known to be very lax in their laws. They're saying that it's going to be this. Everything can be technically done, but they're saying that it's very expensive and that the task of creating the city is going to take time. Now, they really want this to happen. They really want this to succeed. I hope to an extent, yeah, it does succeed, because then what they're saying here is that they're wanting to create unique opportunities for the agricultural, aquacultural, vertical farming, scientific and engineering research into ecology, wave energy, medicine, nanotechnology, computer science, marine structures, and biofuels. This is some of the things that they're going to want to work on while there. Now, part of what they were talking about for biofuels is they're talking about using algae and sea kelp as renewable energies, using those to create those biofuels. Fine print. Someone is already in charge. Always, not already. Yeah, someone always in charge. There's always going to be somebody who's going to be taking over. Now, they have created a spin-off company to administer the sea zone and building of the floating islands, which is called Blue Frontiers. That's one of the spin-off companies they've already created. And they were already saying that by 2050, they were hoping to have everything already going forward and starting. Well, now they're saying by 2020, it should be already started instead of 2050. I mean, they are really just pushing hard to get this kind of stuff put out there. And Searchy brought up a point, and who is going to be saying who can go and who can't go to these places? Who's chosen? You know, they're not going to choose some poor homeless guy or girl off the street. They're going to be choosing people who are rich, influential.
Well, all right. If I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on with you for a moment, they may choose homeless people, runaways with no family.
To experiment on.
You know, offer them this. I'm going off movie type scenarios here, which that could be possible. Because I mean, look, they're creating their own floating island.
It's probable. More than possible, it's probable.
Invite these people with, the promise of, oh, this paradise, and you'll have a better life, and blah blah blah. And then, yeah, when you get there, they use them to experiment on.
Yeah, and I could see that being part of, like you said, the tinfoil hat. Because I wear my tinfoil hat quite often, and I could see this happening. They want to, and let me use their words. Hold on, let me find their words they want to use here. Something I said, something they said. The supporter page. I think it's on the supporter page with their statements and stuff. It's not on there. I know I read it somewhere where they were talking about they want to help homeless people. They want to help, these people who are in a hardship, but they don't state how they're going to help them. Here's their thing. It says, why does the world need seasteading? And this is their words, not mine. Seasteading or seasteaders bring a startup sensibility to the problem of government monopolies, that don't innovate sufficiently. Obsolete political systems conceived in previous centuries are ill-equipped to unleash the enormous opportunities in 21st century innovations. Seasteaders envision a vibrant startup sector for governance with many small groups testing out innovative ideas as they compete to better serve their residents' needs. Meaning that more than likely they're going to set up a government that is going to oversee smaller governments who then take over certain areas of that floating island. And then maybe eventually the first island that they create then is your central government for all the other islands that they create around the world. Because they do state that they want to create at least 100,000 of these things. And they're saying that when they do create these, it's going to help renew the rainforests by expanding the amount of land that they're going to be able to replant rainforests on. Now let's see. Now, they state that they are non-profit. But when they state that who they are, or it says who we are, or who are we, on their website, it states that Seasteaders are a diverse global team of marine biologists, nautical engineers, aquatic cultural farmers, maritime attorneys, medical researchers, security personnel, investors, environmentalists, and artists. We plan to build seasteads to host profitable aquaculture farms, floating healthcare and medical research islands, and sustainable energy powerhouses. Our goal is to maximize entrepreneurial freedom to create blue jobs to welcome anyone to the next new world. All they're leaving out is the word order. New World Order. I'm sorry, but that's all they're leaving out. But, they said that they're non-profit, but yet they're talking about profitable aquacultural farms, profitable floating healthcare, profitable medical research islands, profitable sustainable energy powerhouses. This is all they're talking about is profitable, but yet they're talking about their nonprofit. Like I said before, to an extent I could see this being a good idea, but to an extent I see it not being a very good idea. So, has anybody got any questions about this, one way or the other? You got comments about it, whatever. You can go ahead and put them out there. You want to give any final words to this, Murder, or you got anything else you want to add to this, or you want to talk about with this?
Not really. Just kind of, it's going to take time before they're done with it, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes, where it goes, or if it goes anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you this, as far as their donations are concerned, if you look at their supporter shop, they've got corporations and private investors and anonymous investors even who have pledged anything of $10,000 or more on their website that they actually put on here. And then they've got other investors, obviously, who only given maybe $10 to it, who can't afford much but like the idea. I mean, they're all out there. And they've even set up ways of giving. You give stock in other companies to them, company matching donations to them. They even got a shop on Amazon that if you use them, you'll get a percentage off of your purchases. And I'm sorry. You don't get a percentage off. Whatever you spend, they get a percentage off from Amazon. Bitcoins, you can donate by check, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. And they say whether it's $10, $100, or $1,000, all donations are meaningful and valuable to us and will be used to advance our mission. Searchy says, I love science and advancements, but this is a little out there and feels like a scam, like buy beachfront property in that swamp over there. Or beachfront property in Arizona. Yeah, so needless to say, I see some of this being something that in the future might be worth it, but right now, I don't think the world is ready for it. So we have nothing else being said. You want to move over to the new camera that you showed me?
The 3D VR everything HD camera thing.
Correct. It is called Two Eyes VR. It is the first 3D 360-degree camera. All in one.
All in 4K.
Correct. And this is on Indiegogo, and I'm going to post this here into chat. And I'm going to let you hit this because I got this from you. You brought this to my attention, so how about it?
Basically, it is, if you click on the link and go look at it, it is it's a camera. Just like the camera on your phone would work, to record what you're doing in everyday life. This just records it. It makes it compatible with 3D TVs if you want to record in 3D, so that you can sit on your couch and wear the goofy glasses and watch it in 3D. Or it'll record in VR, so in case you didn't get enough of the outdoors, you can sit down and put your VR goggles on and pretend you're there again. It also records in HD, having two lenses. Which is, I'm guessing, why it records in 4K. You get more clarity with dual lenses. I'm assuming the software that comes with it is able to match the picture from both lenses to pick up every little fine detail.
Yeah, they're placed so that it mimics your eyes, which is approximately 65 millimeters apart according to their little overview that they wrote.
It's also good for, now I've noticed on Facebook lately, Samsung especially has been trying to advertise what their new S8s will do with the whole 360-degree photos. And if you've seen any of those, if you click on them and drag your mouse, it turns like you're turning around. But the neat thing is, if you pull those Samsung posts up on your phone, then if you turn around your room, the picture moves with you as if you're looking at what they were looking at and turning as they turned. So this thing will do the same thing. It'll take a 360-degree photo or video all around you It's got a lot of features to it. It's a pretty neat little device for. I mean, it's not a whole lot of money. $250 is what they've got for their starter, their Indiegogo pack. Which, I mean, if this thing really is that good of a quality and does everything it says that it will, I think 250 is not bad.
Yeah, and they're actually estimating that this will be shipped by November of this year. So by the end of this year, they're talking about having these shipped out. Now, they have raised over 479% of what they actually requested for their basic startup. And right now they're sitting at $236,165 that has been raised as of February 27th of this year.
Yeah, if you actually look at their timeline towards the bottom, anybody who's pulled it up, we're at the end of July right now. So their July timeline says mass production. So if they're on track, then they are currently mass producing these and getting ready to ship them out.
Yes. Now, I honestly can see this being something that could be used within law enforcement to photograph crime scenes.
That would be a good use
or
for
video crime scenes and be able to take that and bring it back to where, where they have a controlled environment to be able to view this and see all details in all these different areas so that they're not consistently trampling upon their active crime scenes.
The only thing that would be missing is a holographic recreation.
That's pretty much it, yeah. And zoom, well, they have some zoom capability, I think, that they would be able to implement. But, I mean, for something this small and being Bluetooth or Wi-Fi going directly to your phone, I think it's pretty neat. And you can use it on both your Apple devices and your Android devices.
Yeah.
And it says here
I like the fact that on the camera it has, if you look at the one side of it, it's got the two lenses about eyes width apart. But on the back side of the camera, it also has the same two lenses. So if you want, I think somewhere in the middle there's a video that they do a short demonstration with a phone. It'll actually show you both sides of a room at the same time. So you can view from both sides of the camera at once.
I'm going to post the link to that video in there on the chat, just in case anybody doesn't want to look at anything else as far as the page is concerned, but you want to watch the video. There's their demo for it using the VR app.
Yeah, like I said, it's a really neat device. And for a lot of us, I mean, even for me, $250 right now, it's a lot of money. I mean, I wouldn't be able to get one, but I mean, if you are in a market for, if you're thinking, I see a lot of YouTubers that will use a GoPro to film what they're doing.
Yes.
GoPros, in my honest opinion, GoPros are made for hardcore, rough and tough kind of activities where you may drop it, bang it up, drop it in water. It's made to survive rough activity. So I think people are spending, and GoPros aren't cheap either. People are spending all this money on GoPros to do, say, for example, YouTube videos, when you could get this for the same price, if not probably cheaper than most GoPros, depending on which model you get, and do the same thing or better, have a 3D or a VR experience for it.
Yep. I mean, in all honesty, there are a lot of applications that this could be used for. In excess of just, say you're out and your family can't be there. Well, you could broadcast this through Bluetooth on your phone, and other people can sit there and watch it at the same time.
Yep.
And they can get the whole experience of actually seeing it as you see it.
Yep.
So, I mean, that would be kind of cool. You know, and then there's going to be those people who are going to use it as a cop-out to not want to go. Oh, you're just going to do that? Okay, I just won't go. And then you hurt the kids' feelings. But that's just, you know, another conspiracy theory I just throw out there. So anyway, this is actually a pretty decent product. If I had the money, I would throw money in on this. But I don't. And I know Murder would too. And I mean, and hell, you can get a 2-pack of these for $470. Instead of buying one, you get 2. And you still get a little bit of money off for buying 2 instead.
Yeah. It's a decent little product to support. I mean, if you're looking for a mobile camera, and don't
camera
want to
or video camera
GoPros.
too.
Some of these GoPros you can spend $300 on pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
And so if you're not going to be needing a camera for, you know, rough activities or on the water, you know, don't go spend $300 on a GoPro. Now, I'm looking at a GoPro Hero 5 right now. It's $300. I mean, that's if you're just wanting, you know, hey, let's film some family stuff, let's broadcast, you know, like yesterday, took our youngest to the lake for her birthday. You know, you could stream stuff like that for cheaper than what you'd have to pay for a GoPro.
Yeah. Well, and those things, the GoPros don't even do anything with 3-dimensional or anything that has to deal with VR or anything of the sort. Now, I think some of them do 4K, but that's about as far as it goes. Now,
that's about all you get with a GoPro is the HD portion of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it is stating here that the 2Eyes VR is a top-of-the-line 4K camera with the resolution of 3,840 pixels by 3,840 pixels at 30 frames per second. And the 2Eyes VR is equipped with the 4K processor and 128 gigabytes of internal storage and a 2,000 milliamp hour, lithium-ion battery. So you know that's going to last for quite a little bit. Especially, in my opinion, that 128 gigs is a lot bigger than some people's SSDs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, having the ability to have VR with something so small just shows how technology is getting up there quite far when it comes to these things. Okay, so you added it to the Facebook page. Alright, thank you, Searchy. And it only weighs 200 grams. That's pretty damn light. It says here that the images or pictures are 8,000 by 8,000 pixels in a JPEG format. And the movies are 3,840 by 3,840 MP4 formatted, 30 frames per second movie formats, videos, that's the word. And it has a gyro sensor on the inside that gives you X, Y, and Z axes on it. But this is something that I would expect from Murder as far as technology is concerned. Because you brought to the attention of myself and the last host other things that had to do with VR and things of the sort when you brought up that Kickstarter for that one VR headset that was a lot cheaper than buying the HTC or the Sony, I think, is the other one. VR headsets.
Yes.
So when it comes to technology, I expect this kind of thing from you. When you talk about things, these are pretty nice items that aren't that expensive, but in the same sense are not these overpriced items. I mean, I would not see this as being overpriced, in all honesty. For what it's capable of doing, or they say that it is capable of doing, I just can't see that being an overprice of $249 for it. No, it doesn't say anything about sound.
I would assume if you're doing videos, it's got to have some kind of
sound recorder.
Some kind of mic on it.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing anything. As far as what they're showing, I don't see anything, but that's one thing that I think they should bring up, is that it does have a speaker. Now, it states it has LED displays, it has a gyro sensor, it has CPU, it has storage, it has battery, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, an image sensor, lenses, but it doesn't state anything about having a mic. So.
Oh, see, on the front of it, you've got on-off, image, and movie LEDs. Mm-hmm. In between
the on-off
and image is a little hole, which looks like would be a small microphone. I mean, it's about the same size hole as what's on a lot of cell phones, really, for your mic to talk into.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I can see that being something, but it doesn't state anything anywhere, so it's kind of like, well, what the hell, people?
Say it, yeah.
Now, there is a thing up near the top. It talks about the two eyes, and they talk about other products like the Gear 360, the 360 Cam, the Bubble Cam, the Lucid Cam, the Views Cam, the Teleport VR, the Roca Thea. They're talking about all these different things and what they can and can't do as far as 3D and VR is concerned. And really, the only thing that even comes close to it is the Views Cam, but it doesn't do 3D movie. It does 3D 180 VR, 360 VR, and a 3D 360 VR, but it doesn't do the 3D movie. Whereas the Two Eyes does 3D movies, which I think is kind of cool, especially if, say, you're doing a family thing and, you know, like you did with your daughter's birthday, taking her down to the lake, you could get a better idea of what things are like because it's in three-dimensional. Like with the blowing of the hairs, or you know, say, you know, you're taking a picture or you're taking a movie and there's wind blowing across the lake and there's leaves that come across the lake, and in three-dimension movies, that would be kind of cool to see, kind of, you know, that realism, I guess, to kind of put you in that especially if you're
Yeah.
reliving it, and you're going in and you're looking at that kind of thing, I think that would be kind of cool. So I mean, this is a product that maybe in a few years might even be cheaper.
I put a link in Discord if you wanted to throw that in the chat. That's the 4K VR headset we were talking about. That was half the price of the others.
Okay, go all the way down. Oh yeah, you could just copy that right into the damn chat. That's that headset, yeah. But alright, now it is 8:15. We are, what, 45 minutes into the show. We still got more things we need to cover. Is there anything else you want to cover on this?
I think we pretty much covered it. Anybody that wants to know more, just click on the link, go to the site, check it out.
Yeah. I mean, and when we were talking about this before is that, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about so far is sort of like a Kickstarter or some sort of raise the money for this product type situation. The next thing we're going to talk about happens to be a game. And this game is on Kickstarter. It is called Dead Matter. Now, I'm going to play a video for it. And let me get it up here. When I'm done playing the video, we'll talk about it. It's a very short video. It's not very long. So, bring that up real quick. Hit the play button.
Dead Matter is a true sandbox survival horror game. You will fight to survive in a zombie-packed, post-apocalyptic world, designed from the bottom up to foster whichever playstyle suits you best. Home to many threats, post-apocalyptic Alberta will throw everything it can at you, from hordes of flesh-crazed undead, to AI trying to make their way through the world, and of course, other players that are doing what they can to survive. Though above all else, mistakes are killer. Plan accordingly. Our massive world is based on Alberta, Canada, and it is designed to deliver an immersive world that is packed full of landmarks begging to be explored. We've developed a huge variety of procedural generation tools with artist control in mind. These tools allow our very small team of artists to deliver a large, detailed, and immersive world. All of the tools we are currently showing will be available to the modding community. In addition to procedural generation tools that we created, we also created a metagame system that helps us keep our massive 400 kilometers squared world fresh and interesting. The metagame manages the loot economy, the electricity and water flowing through the map, trees that have been chopped down, potential sources of contamination for resources, as well as the weather, including a season cycle. AI and zombie movement are also tracked via the metagame and can trigger events, especially if there's a large group or horde present. These events can be interacted with and will result in potential rewards or penalties depending on your actions. Our largest design goal is replayability. Experienced players, especially those that enjoy the PvE and cooperative elements of our game, will find every session to be different from the last. This is important because we want to play our game too. There is also a variety of buildings that you can choose to reclaim in order to aid your long-term survival. This quiet, unassuming suburban home is our first example of a building that you can reclaim. That, yes, you can move furniture around, you can place lights, lanterns, generators, anything, even barricade your own windows the way that you want. It is your house. Though, no matter where you decide to stay, you'll be responsible for getting the power back up, getting some water barrels, as well as maybe setting up some furniture. Another option to choose from is a loot-filled industrial warehouse. This is for players that like to customize their gear, as well as build things. If you're more of a fan of driving things, then the gas station and auto repair shop is more for you. Like the vehicles you were looking at right now, all weapons in our game are customizable. Currently, we have over 50 unique melee weapons and counting in our game. This does not include any reskins or lazy edits of existing models. Every weapon will also be modifiable. The baseball bat and the machete are the best examples of where we would like to take this concept. We need your help to get a polished, playable alpha version of our game onto Steam within the next 6 months. We will need to be able to hire essential personnel to work full-time until we hit our planned release date, and with your help, we can make it happen.
Please check out our backer rewards, as we have plenty of options available, such as a park bench, a road, or even an entire town being named after you for your contribution. All backers will also receive a mention in the game credits. We take your support and voice seriously, so drop any suggestions, ideas, or thoughts you might have on our forums or social media, where we plan to communicate development progress, including vlogs, screenshots, and community QA sessions. Help us help you answer the age-old question of what would I do in a zombie apocalypse?
So, I think that was a pretty cool looking game. They did have some active in-game footage that they showed you there. Plus they showed you what they're using. They're using the Unreal Engine to create all of this. And they did mention that they're talking about bringing in the ability for modding. So that just brings another level to this game. Now, when we first checked this out, Murder found it when we were looking at these different Kickstarter type games, so that we could bring that up to your guys' attention today. They were just at their $120,000 goal. Now, their original goal to kick this project off for full funding was $48,256. They are now up to $125,188. When we first started the show, it was at $125,003. So just from the start of the show until now, they have already gotten $185 raised, with over 3,000 backers for this game. And it still has 17 days to go. Now, this was originally released, and this is by what they say, this was originally released as a mod for the Crysis 2 back in 2013. And so apparently they've been working on this for a very long time, and instead of it being another mod, they've created this into being a actual standalone game. Kind of like DayZ was for Arma. DayZ was a mod that ended up becoming a standalone game. What was something that brought this about to your attention, Murder, when you first seen this?
The graphics. I've said it before. When it comes to games, I'm a visual type person. If it's not clear, if it's not graphically appealing, then I have a hard time liking it, which is why I stopped playing 7 Days for so long, because it was just bland. It's got minor improvements so far, but this game had just, almost lifelike looking buildings, and the environment, the trees and everything. It looked almost real.
Yeah. Yes, it does look like it's much more in depth than H1Z1. Now, what I do like about this is that they are talking about their core features here. Their core features are talking about, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different items here. And I'm going to go over those 8 different items. Their core feature, number 1, is an in-depth medical system, where the player has to keep track of blood pressure, blood loss, bites, scratches, broken bones, injuries to your limbs, organs, trauma that's been dealt to you. This is something that is part of their core of the game. So, I mean, if you get bit by, maybe they have bugs in here that will bite you, or snakes that will bite you, or something bites you, and if you don't get it taken care of, it becomes infected. And then once the infection starts in, then it gets into your blood system, becomes septic. Eventually it's going to kill you if you don't get it taken care of. That is like a step towards the realism factor for the game.
I like how much work they put into it. Not necessarily just how much work, as in, you know, hours of programming and all that stuff, but how much thought that they've put into this.
Oh yeah.
Having the different vehicles, the different houses, and they said that you can move furniture, you can place things where you want it, you can board up your windows the way you want them boarded up, not just some standard boards crossed and nailed. You know, you can cross them, you can vertical, horizontal, however you want to do them.
Well, and that's what I was thinking here is when they were talking about it in the video there, how you could actually space it so that you can use it as a port for your rifle, or as for a lookout, so you could see out, so not everything is completely covered up. I really do like. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say they've put a lot of thought into it.
Before even coming to the table with it.
Yeah. Before even presenting it to people, they have put a lot of thought. Who knows? Maybe you know. Oh, what do you call those little study groups of people that you present things to get their opinion? Focus groups.
Yes.
Couldn't think of the word there for a minute. They may have had focus groups and stuff to help with this, but I like the fact that they put all this thought and planning into it before bringing it to the public on Kickstarter. I mean, that just shows they're not just, see how much money we can make, throw out a piece of crap, you know, game and not do anything with it. This shows that, you know, hey, we're serious. We want a game that people are going to enjoy playing.
Yes. Now, just on a side note, they are saying that they're wanting to basically deliver this game out by February of 2018. So, with that being said, they're really putting a lot into it before they even are even going to release it. And I honestly think that if I had the money, I would be totally backing this project. Just to get it out there.
Yeah, if I had $30 is the cheapest one. I mean, $30 gets you a Steam game code to redeem when it's fully out, and it gets you 2 alpha access keys. If I had $30, I would give it to them, and me and Grim would be alpha testing this game as soon as it comes out for alpha.
Oh, you're not shitting, bro. I'd be all over this. This would be our next Elite Dangerous. I'm telling you right now.
As soon as it comes out publicly finished, however they bring it to Steam, I don't know if they'll bring the alpha to Steam, or if it'll just be a beta to Steam, or presented as an early access for testing.
Well, I would like to see it. I would like to see it go to Steam as already out of alpha testing before it's even released.
Alpha testing separate. Bring it to Steam as early access / unspoken your beta testing. Give it to people early access to do your beta testing. But have your alpha done beforehand. But however it hits Steam, I will have this game.
And I'm going to start saving pennies. I'm going to tell you that shit right now. The next thing, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't care if I got to sell my wife, whatever. I will have this game.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, don't tell her I said that though.
Oh, she's gonna watch this video. You know that, right?
I'll have to hide from her.
You're gonna go hide. You go hide in one of those houses and board it up the way you want to board it up. Keep you away
We'll
from
board the windows up and not let her in.
The next feature in their core features is the day-night cycle. The day in and day out, it never stops moving. It's always going forward. That's one thing about certain games. As soon as there's nobody in the world, the game stops. This game doesn't. This uses day and time to situate weather and the actions of all the animals and the AI and the zombies. All of that's going to be dictated by time and day of the year. So seasons are going to be those things that, the geese flying south for the winter type things, because this is taking place in Canada. So you're going to have these geese that are going to be probably flying in the sky. When things start getting cold, you're going to start seeing them flying south.
Now they've also said, if anybody who clicks on it and looks at it on the Kickstarter, they've also said in their Kickstarter that they plan on expanding the map. It'll start with the whole 4 square kilometer Alberta map, but they do plan on expanding the map later on.
Yes. Now, when I was talking about the day and night cycles, that affects the weather. The weather is their next core feature. Now, before I say this, the day-night cycle, they're saying here that as the days change, the threats change. So you've got to stay on your toes through all of it, meaning that, as soon as daylight comes, it's not like in 7 Days to Die where the zombies aren't as, I'm not going to say as lethal, but when they're running at you consistently at night versus running at you consistently during the day, this here, they're going to be however the AI for those zombies are going to be, or for the NPCs and stuff like that. I think this is like a step towards that, like I said before, realism of the game. With the weather, that's the other thing. The elements, as they say here, the elements could turn against you. So you can get lots of rain, lots of snow, heat waves. They're saying here there's unique threats that will be posed against your character because of the world around you. So, I mean, there could be many different things. You can go from having a heat stroke during the summer to hypothermia in the winter. So these are some of the things that you have to kind of work with when you're gearing up. Coats during the winter, t-shirts during the summer, or like we used to do in the military, we always wore dual layers, cotton underneath our breathables, so that you could, when you're in the middle of the desert, you had cooling, active cooling from sweat and the wind, and you didn't have that problem with overheating back then. Or I shouldn't say back then. For me, it's back then, but for you, it wasn't like that. But anyway, I like that they're really going to put a lot into this game using core features. Now they're talking about an inventory system. The inventory system, they say here, is going to be a jigsaw-style inventory system, which means you have to plan and conserve how you're going to set things up. The weight of things, the quantity of things. They're going to take into consideration temperature. Here they're saying quality is going to be a factor in some of your inventory stuff. Which means that probably in the food, you're going to have spoilage. Food's going to spoil. It's not going to stick around forever. So you're going to constantly have to be upping your food, replenishing your wares of anything that you're going to be using, because if the quality goes down, and if you can't fix it, it's broken, you can't use it, you have to replenish it. So I like that. Scavenging is another core feature they have for the game. They're saying here that any container you find can be physically opened and looted, which means that no matter what is in the game, there's going to be some way to, there's something in it. Or if there, it could be opened at least. So that means if there's nothing in it, there's nothing in it, obviously.
Yeah, I was just noticing that picture there above scavenging. The soda machine's labeled teeth poison.
Yep.
I like that.
They're talking here electrical system. That's another core feature of the game. And they're saying that this is one of their earliest planned features, is the electricity. And so what they're saying here is that you're going to be able to use power, but you've got to set it up first. You've got to get it working first. There's emergency power more than likely going to be on in certain buildings, so you'll have certain buildings that have power that you can actually plug things into. Maybe you need to charge batteries or something within the game. Don't know that just yet, but, you know, speculation here. Which, you know, then states that here they can use power tools once you have power. So, I think this could be something good as well. Hunting. Obviously, you're going to need to hunt to find food. Especially if you're not a vegetable eater.
What? McDonald's won't be open?
No, it won't be open. But I wonder if you could start a McDonald's.
You just have the zombies run it. They run it about as good as people do now.
You're damn skippy, and they won't cost $15 a frickin' hour.
You're still going to get the same screwed up order, you know.
Alright, so let's go to farming. Oh, Jesus, monkeys here. Alright, so they also have a in-depth farming system, they say. That's part of their core features. So that means that with farming, you know, because there is an actual day-night system and a year system where you have seasons, a seasonal system, not a year system. A seasonal system, that means farming is going to be a seasonal farming situation as well. Not everything's going to grow this time, nothing's going to grow at this time. You're going to have to plant things when they need to be planted. So that's pretty nice. I like that. Because that brings, like, again, more of the realism to it. Like they said in the video, there's going to be lots of modding support. So I think that in itself means that, well, they even say it right here. You can host your own server with their own settings and mods on or off the Steam Workshop. And it's all accessible and it's all free. Bam. I'm sold. I am sold. Yes, Searchy, yes. Woohoo, new game servers. I think I would definitely, with this game here, set up for our subscribers their own server for this. Just for the subscribers alone. What do you think, Murder?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. And I would be playing on this server along with playing on the servers for followers and stuff like that. I think that giving people the tools to tinker with their game, just as Ark did for modding, puts a new level to this game. Especially because this game here has more complex features than Ark, 7 Days to Die, H1Z1. All of those games are not going to be as complex as what I'm seeing here. Or am I wrong?
No, this, I think, like I said, they've put a lot of thought and work into this. It's way more in depth, definitely way more detailed than 7 days. I mean, 7 days can't even hope to get close.
Yeah. Now we're going to go over their what's the word? Their goals, and at each goal, the amount of money once they reach that goal, what was going to happen. Now, remind you, their original. I'm going back up to the top, so I apologize, people. Their original pledge to get this all started was $48,256, and now they're at $125,252. So they're consistently getting more backers for this game, consistently. They still have 17 days to go. Now their first goal was $55,000 US, which they reached. And as Murder said, map expansions. They're talking underground systems here. They're talking new locations for the map. Like I said, underground mining complexes, so that's going to be kind of cool. They're talking new weapons, new items, new tools, so that's going to be pretty cool. And that will be for each of the new areas that they open up. So that means that there could be like a refining area for the mining. So that would be kind of cool.
Now, I like the $65,000 one that was reached.
Go ahead, talk about it.
The planes and trains.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
It says that they'll already have cars, trucks, boats, and bicycles. But they are planning on, so they've already hit this goal. So they're wanting to add helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, and trains. Now, it doesn't say that you'll be able to fly them. It says for you to fortify, upgrade, and defend from those who want them for themselves. So I'm assuming they'll just be stationary on the ground, but you can use them as shelter.
It would be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool.
A train, I think, would be neat to fortify.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool to use a train as a base.
Yes, it would be. Now they're saying here that to store your new machines, we need that. If you're going to store your machines, that means these can be moved. To store your new machines, you will also be fleshing out train stations, heliports, and airports throughout the map. They'll have new unique weapons, vehicles, and clothing that will be there for you to find and claim.
So possibly be able to fly them?
And that's what, I mean, they're saying here to store your new machines. I mean, that means you got to be able to move it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to pick the aircraft up and put it in your backpack and walk off with it.
No, it would be cool to fly a helicopter or an airplane, I'll admit. But if that's true that these will move, the first thing I'm going for is a train.
You're damn Skippy. Have you ever seen...
You know how many zombies you can plow through in a freaking train?
With a cow plow on the front?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Talk about splitting wigs. Okay, so now for their $95,000 US dollar goal, which has been reached, by the way. They are talking about a new sandbox inspired by Vancouver Island and the original Dead Mods map. It's going to be smaller and denser. You'll have new weapons, new enemies, new vehicles, new clothes, and new places to explore, all on a coastal landscape that will change the terms of your survival. So it's saying here also that you'll be able to travel between Alberta and Vancouver Island at your leisure, assuming you got the supplies for it, meaning you're going to have a boat.
That'd be cool.
But are they going to have zombie fish? Sorry, I had to say it. But I think that's pretty cool as well. So they're going to add in a whole new little area as well. I mean, that's already said they're going to do it because they reached that goal. Now the next goal, like you and I both said, the interactive AI settlements and factions at 140,000. They still have 17 days. I think they can hit that 140,000.
I think so. And if they don't, right? If they don't, they're only 15,000 short right now. When this game hits Steam is in some way purchasable, I would hope that, obviously they would get to 140,000 at that point with more people buying into it once they see it on Steam. I would hope that once they get that extra 15,000, they'd go ahead and throw this in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I could see them actually adding this in maybe even afterwards. Once that, like you said, once they reach that goal by sales alone, I think they would be able to add this in. It just wouldn't be something that they could add in by time of release.
Yeah, but I like the way that they explain what they're going to do with this portion.
Yeah, and it's like with every portion they talk about, they're talking about adding things. They're talking about things that are going to be done now. Now, right after that, they have a $160,000 United States dollar goal. Obviously hasn't been reached yet because the other one hasn't been reached. But this one is something that's going to be announced once they do get to that portion of the goal. Now, do they have something already in play that they're going to place? Or are they still working on it? We don't know yet. Now, I am personally going to contact them, and being that Murder and I both are streamers, see if there's a way that we could get maybe a couple extra alpha keys to give to our viewers as a giveaway. I think, if they're going to be able to do something like that, I want to be one of those people that's going to try. Just for the viewers, just for our followers, just for our subscribers. I want to do this for you guys. And
plus
I'm sure.
Plus, it's a chance to get more information about this game out there. Let other people, subscribers and followers that win giveaways or whatever, who play it and realize, wow, this is an awesome game. At that point, it creates more word of mouth for the developers of the game.
Yes, it does. And
me personally, I want to get lots of word of mouth out there because I really do think this is going to be an excellent game.
Yes. Now, I want to read their system requirements and their risks and challenges. Okay? Just so that it's put out there that they do acknowledge all this other stuff as well. Now, they have modeled their system requirements based off the Unreal 4 engine recommended specifications. Now, they're saying that this is going to be subject to change on further development, meaning when they start adding more things or start texturing things differently, it's going to change the requirements. But as of right now, they're talking desktop, PC, or Mac, Windows 7, 64-bit. Now, I believe this is minimum requirements. 64-bit, Windows 7, or a Mac operating systems of 10.9.2 or later, a quad-core Intel or AMD processor of 2.5 GHz or faster, a 470 GTX NVIDIA card, or the AMD 6870 series, and 8 gigs of RAM. That, as far as systems are concerned, this means you'll be able to play this game on probably just below par settings and still get good FPS as far as these types of games are concerned. Which means that you should get decent gameplay out of it, even on your lower end systems.
Yeah, I think with those settings, anybody running 7 days now with Alpha 16 will be able to run this game. Shouldn't have a problem.
No, they should not.
If you're already playing stuff, like Ark 7 days. If anybody's playing Conan, if y'all are playing those games, you're not going to have a problem running this one at all.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty decent. Now, we're going to go to the risk and challenges. Like with any Kickstarter or any green light game, they say here, as in any game in early development, there is a chance of failure. However, we believe that we have demonstrated that we have the skill and the drive to make Dead Matter a reality. You can already see how far we've come with a zero budget. With your support, we are confident that we can bring Dead Matter to Steam and into your hands. To build your trust, we will be communicating development updates through our website on a weekly basis, as we are making casual posts on our Facebook and Twitter pages to keep in touch with our fans. We vow never to delete comments or silence the voices of our followers. Our social media pages and websites are platforms not just for us, but for you as well. We want to keep you up to date on development, but most importantly, we want to ensure your voice is always heard. Now, I can appreciate that. And one of the things that, well, by the way, I'm getting their webpage right now, and I'm going to paste a copy of that right there. That's their main page for this. I think that not everybody puts those kind of things out there. They don't talk about it. They don't do anything about, they just say, hey, we're not going to do this, but then they do it. Like, we're not going to charge you any more for something, but yet they do it. Ark. Yes, I am still pissy about that shit. But anyway, I think that this is something that I'm going to be following very closely myself. I know Murder is.
Oh, yeah.
And I honestly feel that you guys should too. This is something that I think with a modding community that is out there, the people who love to make these mods, I think this would be a good platform for them to mod on. It's an amazing setup. This game is an amazing setup. I'm sure you feel the same way, Murder. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's. I told you, as soon as it hits Steam, I'll find some way to be playing this game.
Oh yes, you will be mine. No, Searchy. Will there be a My Little Pony mod like there was in Skyrim? No. Hell no.
I think I may actually, with that question, I may actually send a message to the developers to request if anybody creates any gay-ass mods like My Little Pony, that they automatically be banned from the game for life.
Yes, there you go. I'm there with you, bro. I'm there.
No, this is too awesome of a game to start putting stupid stuff into.
Yeah. Now, if you look at, I'm going to go over their little list of backers of game pledges. Now, as far as the $25 or more pledges, Canadian dollars, which is about 20 US dollars, that one, it was 250 backers, no longer available. $40 or more, 100 backers, no longer available. $45 or more, 500 backers, no longer available. $70 or more, 150 backers, no longer available. $120 or more, 100 backers, again, no longer available. $500 or more, 15 backers, no longer available. So there are people out there who really believe in this game. And I'm going to have to say I believe in this game too, and if I had the money, I would be out there. I wish I had the $5,000 or more, which is $395 or $3,954 US dollars. I'd be like, take my money, you know. Now this pledge, I'm just gonna put this out there for you guys. This pledge includes a producer's credit. You will be able to have all of the available perks that were given before this. You will also be given an invitation to the Calgary, Alberta launch party. That's not to say that you're going to be able to get there, but I would sure as hell find a way. If I had the 5,000, blam, here you go, I'd find a way to be there. Plus you get 50 redeemable Steam keys for the game once it releases, and you get 50 closed alpha access keys as well.
Giveaways.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I mean, it'd be giveaways for days. I would personally, find out when the closed alpha would start and then back it up, 50 days back. And if I had this, I'd be giving one key away. Well, I'd keep one for myself and give you one. But, okay, so 48 days back, we would still be able to drop a key every day until the day of the launch of alpha access. I would totally do that. And then, upon the release for Steam, then be able to go back and do 48 days of dropping the Steam keys as well until the day of release. I would totally be on top of that. So, I mean, there's still quite a bit out there for, let's see, 17 days? Yeah, 17 days to go. I'm telling you, if I had the $30, bro, I'd be on top of it, dropping 30, even $50, because the $50, which is 40 US dollars, you get 2 redeemable Steam keys and 2 closed alpha access keys.
Yep.
I'd be on top of that one.
And I mean, anybody who's thinking about it, anybody watching who's like, oh, this seems like a pretty cool game, who might want to back this, $40 isn't bad. That's the average price of good games on Steam anyway. And you're going to get 2 copies for $40.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $20 a piece plus alpha access on top of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can find a game that looks this good, that has this much planning put into it for $20 on Steam.
No.
It'd be hard to find if you did.
Yeah, in all honesty, you have a lot of people who are paying $20 for alpha access to games. Games that are in alpha, you're paying $20 to play the game in alpha. So, I mean, in all honesty, this would be $10 a key, really.
Yeah, you're going to get alpha access, and you get a full copy when it's fully released. I mean, so 2 full copies of the game, 2 alpha access keys, $40. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is. I think that this game here, like I said, is going to be worth it when it comes around to it. This is one of those games that would be worth investing in. I honestly have never thought that I would even go as far as investing on Kickstarter with any of these games, but this one would be one that I would definitely invest in.
Oh yeah. I mean, some of them, you know, people are like, oh, I don't know, they could be scams, whatever. If this is a scam, they've put a lot of work into scamming people. I mean,
yeah, they did.
The gameplay footage and everything, it's just, there's no way. Definitely worth backing this thing.
Yep. Alright, peeps. Anybody got any other questions about this game? Because we're going to have to move on here. We are now at 9 o'clock. We just spent 45 minutes talking about that game.
It's an awesome game.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I ain't even played it, and I can already tell it's an awesome game.
Yeah, right? Alright, nobody else has anything else. I'm going to hit on the next game that we are going to talk about. It's already been released. It was released the 26th of July of this year. And it is called Citadel Forged with Fire. And we're just going to hit the little playback for this right here. So it's already released. And from what I've seen, when I first seen this game, it was on YouTube. And it was played by a YouTuber by the name of Casey Mo TV. And Casey Mo plays a lot of Rust. If anybody doesn't know him, he plays a lot of Rust. He does a lot of Rust builds as far as buildings are concerned. And when I seen him playing this, I was like, oh, he's playing a different game now. Let's see what he's playing. And I seen this, and these are his words that he used. It says, it's like Rust with wizards. I agree from what I've seen. Now, like with any survival game I've played so far, my words will ring true. Fucking bears. They're in all these games. They all have killed me. I hate the bears in these games. But in this one, you can and ride his ass.
Oh, you want to ride his ass?
I'm gonna ride his ass.
Now I gotta be honest. I gotta be completely honest. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot. I'll go ahead and say this first. I'm sure there's a lot more to the game, and you know, it's probably better than my first impression of it. But first impressions, based off of that video, it looks way too much like Skyrim.
It does look a lot like Skyrim, but
it looks like it's, and like I said, I'm sure there's more to it than just that, but first impressions, it looks like it's already been done.
Well, that's where I think that when he had mentioned it being like Rust, I see that within the game. I really do see that within this game. As a guy who's played Rust, I haven't played it a lot, but I have played Rust. I see this as a Rust counterbalance, in all honesty, to where Rust is very apocalyptic, whereas this game is not so much apocalyptic as it is medieval in nature, but built around a magical type theme. And at one point, when they were riding the brooms and you seen the guys running and taking off with the black smoke, I thought, oh, Harry Potter. You know, I mean, that was my honest thought. And then...
Damn it, Harry Potter.
Yeah, right? But that was my thought. But there's also a third-person view for this game as well. They showed you everything from first person. But there is a third-person view to this game, which I think is a neat little twist to the game. I'm probably sure there's still quite a bit of polish that needs to be put into this game. But for what I've seen, probably because, you know, well, it's either Harry Potter or Harry Dresden, and most people don't even know who he is. Just saying.
Hey, Lord of the Rings has wizards.
Look.
It ain't
Gandalf.
All about Harry Potter.
Harry Pothead? Yes. But there are a lot of aspects of the game that I did like visually. Like that fight scene where it was raining brimstone down. You know what I'm saying? And it was just destroying everything. I like that look. Now, if they give you that exact look in the game, oh, hell yeah. But if they don't give you that exact look, it better damn well come close to it. Or I'm calling the cops on them. Because they lied to me. But it's an early access game. It really is, from what I've seen, a decent game. Well, right now, it is on special through Steam Store for $20. It's $20 or 20% off until August 3rd. And then it goes back up to the $25 tag that they have on it. Similar to Rust. Rust was the same way at the time. Now, I think that this particular game has some potential for certain types of game players, like those who play Rust quite often. But in the same sense, it gives that you could actually RP this game if you wanted to. As in Rust, it's not so much you can RP that game. People try, but you just really can't. And who is the developer for Ark or for Rust? I don't remember. Let me look it up. Because I just
for Rust. That's face punching it.
Yes, it is. You are right. That is Base Punch, but there's somebody else with that too. Is it just Base Punch? Yeah, strictly Face Punch. Here it shows. Yeah, Face Punch Studios. The reason why I asked is because the developers for this game are Blue Isle Studios and Virtual Basement LLC. I've seen those names before, I just don't remember where I've seen them. Ah! Ark. That's where I've seen it.
For who?
Ark!
No, which studio did you say again?
Virtual Basement LLC. They were behind Ark.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then Blue Isle Studios was Valley, Slender, and Light and Dark bundle. So they do a lot of small games. So they kind of went with Virtual and created it. So I mean that's not too bad then. But yeah, it says here that Virtual did his Ark, Survival Evolved, Survival of the Fittest, Expansion, Scorched Earth, you son of a bitch, is selling shit like that. Ragnarok expansion, the Center expansion, and the Ark Total Conversion Primitive Plus. So, needless to say, it's got some decent developers for gaming. Now I'm just waiting for a paid DLC from them while it's still in early access. If you can't tell, I'm a little salty over that. But anyway, I think the game looks pretty decent. I would try it. If I liked it, I liked it. If I didn't, I didn't. And it does have a single-player, multiplayer, and an online multiplayer mode to the game as well. And again, it was released just on the 26th of July. Let's see. And like I said, it's got mixed reviews. You know, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do like it. Some people are saying that in a few months, when it's got some spit and polish to it, it'll be worth buying. But some of them are saying right now they regret buying it because it's not got that spit and polish. But that's like with any game, you're going to have people who are going to badmouth it, and you're going to have people who are going to fanboy it. Or girl. Whichever. So anyway, these games are, one being Dead Matter is going to be worth the money. Citadel, we'll have to see. Now they do have taming dragons in this game. So there is a taming feature which then follows over from Ark, I guess. So you'll be able to tame dragons, tame bears.
So if we were to put recommendations down on games, I've got to be the first to say I would put your money on
Dead Matter.
backing Dead Matter.
Yes.
Go to Kickstarter. Pay whatever you want, whatever you can afford. Back that game.
Yes.
I normally wouldn't tell people go do this. I would tell them my opinion and let them, make their own decision. But
Yes.
I'm giving instructions. Go back this game.
Yeah, definitely. There was another one that we found, but we're going to save for next week. And we'll talk about that one, like I said, next week. And that one is going to be something that I think you guys will like, especially if you like space. If you guys like space. So anyway, anybody got any comments? Questions? Anything of the sort? About anything that we've talked?
That's my comment.
That's your comment? That's mine. So anyway, peeps, it is late. We went over quite a bit on this one. It's 9:17 right now. Whew. These are some good talks today. Especially the Dead Matter thing. We spent a lot of time on that one. Only because I personally feel, just as Murder does, this game needs some serious exposure.
Yeah. It needs to get out there. For anybody who doesn't know about it, tell them about it. Give them the link.
Hold on, I gotta get it again. Oh, you already have it up. Or no, Searchy already put it up.
I was saying, if anybody watching knows somebody who hadn't heard about it, tell them about it. Give them the link to it. Let them look it up. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna post it one more time in chat. That is their official webpage. And then you can hit their Kickstarter from the webpage there. But this would be a game that I would say yes to myself, a $40 pledge, which is $50 Canadian dollar. Just because you get 2 Steam keys and you get 2 closed alpha access keys as well.
Yeah. Well worth it.
Yep, I think it would be. Very much so. Alright, peeps. I myself, as well as Murder, I'm sure, appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the channel, watching us talk about the tech that we have found out there, the floating cities, through the Seasiders. Oh, Sea Standing? Okay. Sea Standing Foundation. And the virtual Two Eyes VR camera / video recorder. And then we hit on Dead Matter, and then we hit on Citadel Forged in Fire. Yeah, I think that that's it. So I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. Murder, you got anything to say?
No, I was going to say it sounds like Good night.
Yeah, good night. Well, like I always say, friends don't let friends game alone. Peace.